What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. In this one, I'm going to be installing this FMF shorty onto my pocket bike. Let's get started. Here's the original muffler, and it came out just like this. We're going to be attempting to do the same thing with the FMF here. This is the Pokemon pocket bike, so in order to make this FMF fit the bike, I'm going to be constructing a Pikachu Tail for the back here. So to start the making of the tail, I've cut out a cardboard template right here. Mine's a little bit different than a regular Pikachu tail like this one. Mine cuts up from right here and goes up to there. And you can see that right here. This gives me a lot better stability. And I got the second one cut out. Let's do another mock-up. Here's the complete cardboard mock-up, and this shows me a few different things. Like, the seat fairing there is pushing in the tail too much. So we want it to sit more like that, since the exhaust pipe is going to be sitting in there. So I'll end up having to shave some of the plastic underneath here. It doesn't seem too bad, but it's definitely noticeable. Like, it's kind of creating a cone look, and that's just not going to sit good with the exhaust pipe. So rather than going at that problem right now, I'm going to cut out our real material. That way I know how much shaving I have to do on the fairing. And this is the material I'm hoping to go with. We've got our ABS plastic right here, and this is pretty thin stuff, guys. So this is what I mean by hoping to go with. As long as it holds up, it will be the winner, but I didn't want to go too thick on this because I've got our plexiglass right here, which I always wanted to do. This is 1/4 inch, so no flexibility with this, and that's why I didn't want two of the same thickness pieces. You know, we would end up with a piece about that thick for tail, and I just didn't want all that weight on there. So here's the ABS I just showed you, cut to the Pikachu tail size. It didn't even require any power tools. I just simply traced them out from the cardboard cutouts and trimmed them out. Now I'm going to show you the process of the plexiglass, since that's a bit thicker and we'll be needing to use the Dremel. Now we have to take the ABS shape and get it into the plexiglass so I can start cutting it out. Blade kept breaking on me, so I went through about 4 of them, and at the very last point it broke on me, so I went ahead and tried to push it through, and yeah, it cracked on me. It wasn't a good idea, but this is one that I got done from the second panel. I went ahead and picked up another panel that I'm going to cut right now, and we're going to cut it with this time because this is a lot more durable, and it shouldn't be so bad, because before I'm pretty much laying the Dremel down just to get a straight cut, and this should be a little bit better since it's bigger. Here's another mock-up, and both of the plexi pieces are looking pretty good. So instead of having them on the outside where this was rubbing, I decided to move them to the inside, and that's not really an issue anymore. And now I just have to decide where I want to cut this off at, because this groove is right here and it's just running into the engine, so I'll have to probably cut it off about right there, but that's not a big deal. Let's start working on the pipe. The FMF has this bend in it, but my original pipe here comes straight out. So in order to make this work, I have to bend that original pipe down a little bit. That way, I can have the FMF sit just like this. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that welding montage. I've got a pretty big mock-up to show you right now. Alright, so here is the pipe on the bike. Check it out. I also got the tail bolted down, 2 bolts for each side. And this is where the new issue is going to come in. I know I'm going to get roasted, but here we go. I've got to show you guys. As you can see, the pipe is fairly bent on the bike. It's unfortunate, but this is something I just have to live with for now, and I will plan on changing it at some point, re-welding it, but it's just difficult to see because as you can tell, this pipe, it does go straight on, but the FMF has a slight bend in it actually, and this is probably for a dirt bike fitment, which obviously this isn't going on, but it's not too bad. So I'm not at all blaming the welder on this. It's my fault. I should have had the screws for the straight pipe, that way I could actually screw it into the engine and then we could do the proper mock-up rather than just setting the straight pipe onto the cylinder and kind of doing a visual mock-up. I told them to just go for it, and that's what we did. So moving on, this is what I'm going to be working on next. I'm going to drill the hole into the tail right here. That way we can have this rod support the back of the pipe, since all it's being held on is by the screws into the engine. And I'm going to hold off on messing with this mount right here because that's just going to be another hole into this frame. And we have to remember that this was a children's bike, so this is doing a lot of the supporting for this bike when I'm riding it, and I want to try to avoid drilling yet another hole into it. We'll see how it runs and operates like this. Alright, so I think everyone gets the idea. I just had to drill a lot of holes. So without further ado, I think we're ready to reveal the final results. So check it out guys, what do you think? This is why I wanted to do the plexiglass, those stickers on the ABS behind it, and I think it turned out really nice. I had those Pokemon stickers for a while, and I finally put them to use to kind of top off the entire bike's look. I think it turned out real nice, and actually, it's hardly noticeable that the pipe is bent now. Obviously it's not center with the tail right here, but it's not too bad. This kind of gives the illusion that it is straight, and I can hardly notice it now actually. And with the kind of the collage going, it really tops off the look. Let's see how it sounds though. Quick thoughts on the first startup, it is a lot quieter. So I hope everyone that has been following the bike can tell that, because with the straight pipe it had that nasty and ugly thumping sound. That is completely cut out, I've noticed. And now we're ready to do some speed runs with it. Let's get into it. Plane's about to take off. And for the heck of it, I will have the top speed app going, but I do agree with everyone that I need a bigger carb in order to gain these higher speeds. Let's get on to the speed runs. Alright, so I just took off the helmet and we definitely have some stuff going on. Not necessarily for the better. I can feel the bike running out of fuel when I'm hitting those top speeds. It's almost like it's running out of gas, which I know it's not, it's full. But it's either I have to just clean my carburetor or I need that bigger carburetor because it's starving itself, because it definitely isn't running right. I just checked the top speed app and I only got up to 40 miles per hour. So let me know you guys' thoughts on this below. It's probably that the carburetor is too small, but this is pretty strange with this new pipe on. I was expecting getting some higher performance. We don't have the expansion chamber since this bike could just never fit that. It is not on there, but yeah, I think I'm starving it of gas now at this point. I'd like to go to you guys for this kind of stuff. What do you think is going on? Let me know down in the comment section. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pack up the bike. I did about 10 passes back and forth past the camera there, and it just wasn't clearing itself out, wasn't getting any better. So I will throw in those clips at the end here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this FMF install. I'm not necessarily blaming the pipe. I just think that other components on the engine need to be upgraded at this point. That way it can all work together perfect. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you next time. Thanks for watching.